Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to this holy circle of light. This whole thing will probably totter over. Let me adjust that microphone. Little squeaky microphone. Welcome to the holy circle of infinite. Where we ask Jesus, what miracles, Jesus? He says, just hear my voice and I'll tell you. You can hear my voice and I'll tell you. So gently, so lovingly. It was so beautiful. We were looking at clips. We're feeling it would be really inspiring to have like a little video, and it just has a little clip of all the beings speaking to Jesus, little clips together. And so we're watching different ones, and you just see how, and you hear like how beautiful it is when he comes right through. And like Elliot talking about how Jesus was telling him how you know the voice. It's gentle. It's really a voice without an agenda. The agenda, because the ego has an agenda. It has a wake-up schedule. And it's helpful just to really notice the voice that when you know that you're the light of divine being, what in us just knows that there's something here before every idea. What is that? It's like, yeah, what is that? Like, we don't think about really exploring that voice. It's somehow that what is it that recognizes the holy instant? The ego can't recognize it. It's like really paying attention, using the power of consciousness. That's what he's doing with light training. He's using the power of consciousness to turn back and cease to look out this way and dance and play inside of consciousness as though it's real, to look back toward what is real. The power of focus, either focus on darkness or infinite. Like Nisargadatta, I think it was Maharaj, says it's like a door that swings two ways. The door that looks this way, it's looking outward, in consciousness, it goes into the play. And when you spend time contemplating before time began, who are you before you were born? Beautiful questions. So that the contrast is there, the contrast between when we focus on infinite dial, and then noticing the play of consciousness moving out, just slow it down. I said, Jesus, will you slow it down for us? And he does. He'll slow it down for you so you can watch those thoughts come and then stack on other thoughts. It seems so fast. He says it's fast, seems fast because you want a trick of losing control of it, seemingly. Jesus, do I desire an experience of losing control of myself? And then backpedaling to try to get control, like just getting stuck in the loop of feeling out of control and trying to get in control. It's like a Ferris wheel. Woo! Our little duck feet are paddling under the surface of the water as fast as we can. Is all that necessary? Asked Jesus. He's telling me the only thing that's necessary is to follow my voice. We can ask him, Jesus, is that necessary for me to follow your voice? Okay, who hears him say no? Because I don't hear him. Every time. That answer comes back very consistently. Unless we really don't want to hear it, then we can pretend, we cover up our ears. I don't want to hear. See no Jesus, hear no Jesus, speak no Jesus. Those little monkeys. We'll have a new hashtag with the 3 little monkeys. And you start to see it's just stunningly beautiful when we're speaking as light. And it's that tuning fork. You just hear it. You know it, like Rita says, I know it when I hear it. We do know it when we hear it. We just pretend like we don't. And through the play, you start to see how the ego mixes in its interpretation too. It's the Jesus plus extra. Jesus says this, and then it's little extras, the Jesus extras. That's why that joining, it seems to just really cut the extras in there. And you can hear how clear it's heard. When 2 or more are gathered in his name, all the power. Just see that Jesus doesn't have an other agenda. He doesn't have, there's not an agenda. That's what that voice doesn't have, an agenda. And you'll see, and you probably already have seen it, like there's not a because around things. There's no, when he tells you something, you don't know why he's telling you. You cease to ask him. See, the ego's question is why. And hear those questions. Those are all doubt about identity questions. What? Why? Why not when? See, it's all. The only question is, what are you? What am I? I am not a body. What am I? What are we? I remember I was like in community, and then I had like this little vision where Jesus came and into my mind, and he was showing me like a box of thoughts and then infinite. He was showing me contrast. And then a doubt thought came up. Someone said to me, like, you didn't hear Jesus or something. I was like mad for 4 days or no, 2 days. I held. That is the perfect example how you will be shown the most spectacular thing. It's like the whole gig, and then we'll just make a decision. Oh, I don't want to see that. And then it seems to be about somebody outside. See how that works? How powerful our minds are? thinking, oh, I really see it, but no, I really don't. Like we say we want to see it. When you start digging around with Jesus, not digging around, he's not really, but he's pointing out on the beach. He's on the beach. And it's not a bad beach. It's a nice beach. The ego makes it like it's going to be a horror story, walking on the beach with Jesus with the metal detector where he's pointing things out. No. You'll see in the conversations how simple it is. Just so simple. He just goes, no, just look at this and don't invest in that. And this isn't going to work for you. And ask me, and ask me here, and ask me here, and ask me here, and ask me here, and ask me here. Basically, ask me everything. And when you think you've asked him a lot, he'll probably tell you, if you ask him, Jesus, am I asking you enough? And he'll probably tell you, there's probably more. I'm asking him. He says, yes. See, he even says that somewhere in the Course. You just ask for so little. We don't even know what we're not asking for. You can even ask him, Jesus, what do I ask you? Ask him, Jesus, can I ask you what I'm not asking you? It doesn't have to be a formal questionnaire, really, although you can write one down if you want. He's so willing. He's the symbol of willingness of our mind to see it a different way, except his willingness is 24/7. He's willing to help 24/7. That's why that's the symbol here. 24/7, knock on the door. And as time goes on, we'll have more and more joinings 24/7. Because if the Spirit's available, we can be available too 24/7. You can ask him, Jesus, do I need sleep? And hear what he says. It's like, Jesus, not my sleep. You felt any tension go up your back, you can just talk to Jesus. Do you mean you're taking away my sleep? No, we talked about sleep when we asked him about it. Is sleep real? And here's the answer. It's a play. Is sleep a play in consciousness? To lose track of who we are, to pretend like we don't know who we are. Yet you can ask, am I still aware when I'm sleeping? Because awareness is always here. Does the light go somewhere when I'm sleeping? Ask. You can ask if you want to. There's no demands. Say, Jesus, do you have any demands of me? He says, you have demands of you. So it'll sound like when I'm asking is something like it's demand. Because the discernment's not there to see that he's just offering the fastest option for ceasing to deny. That's all. He's offering to totally take those miracles at hand that we need and show us exactly where they're needed, and asking them, I'm asking him, okay, so it is helpful to go back and just look through the first couple of pages of that dialogue of the text with Jesus and how Helen would talk to him. So you can see how you can talk to him. He says, it's no different. I'm asking him, no. And we're already seeing examples. That's why we're doing the recordings. And it's so beautiful because bless our brothers who are stepping up in these calls. We have one that's going to be posted shortly that we just did a couple of days ago, where two of the beings said, you know, this is really my first time. It's so beautiful. You can't even, like, the symbol in the mind of that really going, I don't know, but I'm willing to be open about it. And then you just see that that symbol of accepting the miracle for every single one of us. And then the clarity with which Jesus was talking to them about everything coming through. Fulfilling his promise that we can hear him, and he's here to take us all the way. And we need that. He knows that we need those symbols in our mind, in the mind, of being able to hear Jesus's voice with that level of clarity. Because he's taken us really deep. You can call it deep into consciousness. We'll just call it consciousness, going deep into the subconscious mind. And if it's going to be fast, we know he's the one to go with. So yesterday we were talking about chapter 3, Beyond the World, and we're up to point 9. And he was talking about beliefs, and he talks about releasing beliefs and desires. When a belief is released, there's zero charge on it. And you can ask them, meaning there's no energetic investment in that thought having meaning. How much of the world's time spent arguing over the definition of what a single thought means, a single word? I mean, we would have meetings and meetings in corporate America over what words meant. A single word on the mission statement. Just get big old. Jesus simplifies the mission to this. It goes like this. That's his mission. I mean, it can be, all these things are helpful because God is in everything I see. There's not you don't have to bat an eyelash to see his infinite light here. To see I need do nothing. Like, don't lift a finger, just look right here. Is there light here? Yep, done. It's the part where there's that little joyride of, it's not truly a joyride, it's a hate, love, pretend love is death ride in consciousness, to pin meaning to words, order thoughts by, okay, this one's more meaningful than that one. And if I it's thought rearrangement. You can ask them. Jesus's consciousness thought rearrangement. That's the Tinker Toys or Legos, because I love Legos. You know, and you take them apart and you put them together and it goes from a house, and then you can build a starship if you have enough of them. They're like addictive. It's like Lego addiction. Putting all the little characters together and sticking them, and yeah. And what does it mean? And fighting with your siblings if you don't have the right little Lego there. They got a better little door or window. That's putting the meaning, see, on all the little building blocks in consciousness called thoughts. And then it strings a couple of them together, and then that, oh, that's got a big meaning. So when it is released to the Holy Spirit as my agent for the atonement, there's no charge on a thought. You can ask Jesus. He says you cannot rest easy until there are no charge on thoughts. Because it's like out, 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 out. You know, we know it. We've all lived in the consciousness block for a while where, and they'd say that like at Muji's, I feel like I'm being attacked by thoughts.
Yeah.
There's a really cute video from Muji. If you look for it, it's called Mr. Mind. It's adorable. The AV team did it at Sahaja. Oh my God, they are so just that. What a just beautiful example of so much creativity. It's adorable if you find it. It's very cute. We'll miss the attack. I'm being attacked, you know. And like Muji says, take your energy away from it. Don't give it, see who's powering it. That's what our whole thing is. Who is powering that engine? Find who's giving the power to it. The entire focus of our discussions is finding who is giving power to it. So when there's no charge, so when we give it to the Holy Spirit, it fries the charge off of it, burns the chaff and leaves the good wheat. This is a reminder of the lesson. I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Without meaning an investment in a limited identity, it is seen that thoughts are meaningless and thus have no impact on the Son of God. So the tiniest twitch has a thought with a charge on it. Ask Jesus. Does any twitch that I'm feeling, contraction, have a charge, a belief under it somewhere? And hear what he says. It's something unforgiven. See that the light doesn't twitch. Are there any twitches in the light? No twitches, it just is. So that's our forgiveness then washes the charge and the energetic investment, the desire to experience the effect of a miscreation. So it moves out and then we pretend like we didn't project it out there and then it comes back like a boomerang. The constant daily boomerang experience. But until we're really aware of it, that's why it seems at first like you're just going to jump those joints. Like you want to jump all day long because you just out, like out. But now we're seeing it. Because as he said, we were too tolerant before. It's really an incentive. Okay, show me, 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 show me. And trust that he has the plan. You are beyond all experience. All experience is desired experience. You are beyond all experience. You can ask him, Jesus, am I beyond all experience? See that the light's beyond all experience. Thusly, I love this quote. We all love this quote. A lot of us. Thusly appeal everything you believe gladly to God's own higher court. Let's be in there now. The highest court in the land. Let's just ask Jesus because we doubt his court's higher than our court. Is God's court the highest court possible? Can you see? This is the play. That my court, the I court, is a higher court than God's court. It's a desire to pretend like God's court is not in, God's court is 24/7. So the consciousness is a play to pretend like God will bar the doors from us when it's open 24/7. See that the light is a 24/7 gig. Thusly appeal everything you believe gladly to God's own higher court, and you will see that this is the only court of value, as it sees only innocence. So here's the question. Jesus, will you tell me, honesty of God, am I willing to walk into God's court and see that I'm innocent? 100% innocent. And if he says, no, you're not willing, then we know that there's some time to be spent with him and to see, well, why wouldn't we walk in the court? Jesus, if I don't want to walk in the court and you tell me, can I ask for a miracle? Just see that not wanting to walk into God's court to see we're innocent. See, that's where all the innocence is, but we don't want to push the doors open and go in. I can, but something's on my watch. I gotta go do rather than push the doors open and just go sit in that room and just look around with the light. Like that's the light. All the light is innocence. It's very humbling when Jesus says to you, no, you don't want to walk in there. Okay, Jesus, then show me every desire below my level of awareness, not to avoid walking through those doors. I'm willing to see it. Give it to me. All the objections, all the excuses to not just walk into that courtroom. And stay in there and not try to sneak out for candy or any stuff like that. See, that's what the ego likes doing. See how much power. Ask him, Jesus, do I really like sneaking out of that courtroom to find hell outside those doors? It's like a flaming inferno out there. Crack the door open to see it what it is. But see, the ego kind of paints the flames so they don't look so bad. So it can go out there and jump right into hell. But if you notice any kind of resistance to sitting in that innocence court, even just the thought of walking into God's court, okay, and just feel how you feel. You feel that energy going up your back. Jesus goes, I rest my case. I rest. A lot of joining happening. so I rest my case. And seeing innocence in your brother, so shall you see it in yourself. So let's just really look at this one. I want to ask him, see if there's Jesus, is there any place where I do not want to see innocence, my brother? Okay, go ahead and give it to me. I'm willing to see it and ask for a miracle. Any kind of foisting, any kind of hidden pockets. Okay. See, that's what he's pointing. He's saying you'd rather stay outside and try to foist than come inside and see you and your brother are innocent. But you can ask him, your true nature, infinite love, knows no beliefs. You can ask him, Jesus, does infinite love know any beliefs? And see that the light doesn't know beliefs. So he's just teaching us how fast we're trying to rush outside God's courtroom. The innocence courtroom. That we pretend like we don't have the power to stay in light. We pretend like, oh, somebody's kicking me out of the courtroom. There's something outside of that courtroom. It is dragging me out there. So I ask him, Jesus, with honesty of God, is anyone dragging me out of God's court? He's just showing us whose hand's on the door to push it open and step out into the flaming inferno out there. Just ask him, Jesus, is there a flaming inferno outside of God's court? I hear him say, yep. And do I like going out there? And then you can hear him say, yep. But until we see it that graphically, do you know like how in the Course, he's got these really graphic things like lipstick on a skeleton? Because we need to see it. We're pretending, we're decorating it with niceties. We ask him, Jesus, do I like to decorate the ego with niceties? You know, it's like taking you know what a honey badger is? I don't know why. Okay, a Tasmanian devil. It doesn't matter. But it's like taking a Tasman, and it's innocent. They're adorable. And I know there are people that have them for friends. I get it. They wanted to have a pet Tasmanian devil. Okay, but it's not for everyone. It's like taking a Tasmanian devil into your house and putting a nice little pink bow on its head. That's what we're doing with the ego. Ask Jesus, you know. We're inviting it in and going, I just come home after work. My house is shredded. What happened? We left the courtroom of the Holy One above, that's for sure. You know, so Jesus has to get really graphic with us, you know. See that when you crack the door open outside of God's court, it is a flaming inferno out there. Like Muji would say, I love that. He's so great, you know. Like if it was a hot potato, you drop it. To learn to see the ego is just a hot potato and drop it. He's saying, do you really want to keep what does not exist? And I ask him, Jesus, do I want to keep what does not exist? Too much happiness. All of the beliefs that you believe that deny divine nature are provided in A Course in Miracles. I ask them again, are all the beliefs? Yes. You can ask them, Jesus, are all the beliefs? So the whole thing is just giving you, here's the ego thought system on a platter. Any belief that you hold is the desire to experience the results of the belief. The experience of a personal identity separate from your source. Every belief, Jesus asked them. Every belief is a twitch. It's a desire riding up, and then it blows out into objective experience. See, that is the light an object? Is infinite light an object? Is having an experience like we're an object is that natural? See that there's nothing natural about it. We can ask him, Jesus, is leaving God's higher court of innocence natural to us? No, it's totally unnatural. So we're demanding of God for an unnatural experience. Ask Jesus, Jesus, am I demanding of God an unnatural experience? Desire is a demand to God for an unnatural experience. And then they proliferate into beliefs. You can ask them. Do desires proliferate? Yes. It's making belief babies. Like little. Like, yeah. This is the desire for the experience of death, which we know well. Leaving innocence is death. But we think it's life. We think on the outs, not we, consciousness plays. I'm going to ask Jesus if I still think that. Do I still think? I want to make darn sure. Check in with the one who knows. Check in with the law, the one who knows, to see if there's any desire for experience of death under there, any confusion about what love and death is. Let's ask them. That's a good one. Jesus, do I still have any confusion over what love and death is? That death is love and love is death. Do I have any of that confusion still? Says, as long as you have that confusion, you will not follow me, because you'll think that following me is death. Rather than your way out, your ticket, your guilt-free walk out of hell. Jesus, are you my guilt-free walk out of hell? And see, here's the answer. I'm your only walk out of hell. That's what I hear. Fully, the 100% to the no twitch zone. To show you all the places you play in consciousness that are below your awareness. See that the investment in these beliefs are a self-imposed prison of pain and suffering. When you look upon all beliefs in the light of truth, you will see that the Son of God has never been bound. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, is the Son of God bound in any way? Is the Son of God pretending to be bound? And then you go until he tells you you're not pretending to be bound anymore. That's all. Just keep looking at the desires for experience. And then till he says, but he's the only one who knows where all the little holes or pockets of denial is. You have merely to admit you do believe them and ask me in each case whether any of these are true. As soon as you are ready to accept your true power to see desires in the light of divine being, you will see immediately that they hold no power over you. And how powerful have the joinings been, one-on-one and together, when you see those desires that he shows you in the light how it's like, oh, how quickly we go to no problem. It's gone. So I'll read that again because it's so beautiful. As soon as you are ready to accept your true power, our true power to see desires in the light of divine being, you will see immediately that they hold no power. You'll see that you, not as a person, but the play of consciousness is making that investment in desire, in the bank of death. And then it's just withdrawing the allegiance. Jesus, am I willing to withdraw my allegiance from all of this? And if I'm not willing, will you help me with willingness? That's his function. And he will. He just, I don't know. I heard that in the beginning, and that's just the experience. Becomes our experience the more we say yes to him, and you can hear it from all the beings here. It demonstrates it exactly as we need it to trust him. But we do have to make that step toward him. Like Sue, he says, reach out and take my hand. We do have to reach out and take it to see that we've had the power all along to take his hand, that we are divine infinite beings pretending like we're limited. It's been so helpful having the mighties who keep joining to see where the limit is in play, to release that play of limitation. Our only function, completion, infinite light. I asked him, oh my gosh, so much love in this. You just get those love. And we're all seeing it, you just turn toward Jesus, ask him, and you get a little love because it's yourself, you're the love. And I said, do we still contemplate divine power? He says, yes, contemplate the power of divinity. Okay. And then in 15 minutes, for those that would like to jump back on the link that we put out in the WhatsApp group or in our little joining session, our little Facebook Messenger group, A New Covenant. In 15 minutes, we'll join for a movie. The newest Lions King movie, the newest animation one. So we'll see those of you that like to join, and we'll talk about, as we always do, and hear what Jesus has to say about that movie. Love you all. And there will be Spanish translations of the talk in any kind of commentary.